Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
Hey everybody. So, what I wanted to talk about today was contacting your spiritual guides. I did see a post about this on Reddit and, it just inspired me to make a talk on it. If you like what I'm going to be talking about, then definitely drop a like. And if this is your first time on this channel, you can find tons of topics on witchcraft, spirituality, working with the Simon Necronomicon, and growing in your spiritual and magical practice here, so definitely subscribe and check out all of my videos and playlists. Anyways, contacting your spiritual guides can be something that might seem a little bit daunting, like how do I do that? What kind of materials do I need? What kind of ritual stuff do I need to do in order to reach out to my guides, or the ones that maybe somebody at a reading told me I had, or maybe just the ones that, I know that are out there for me based on my own intuition or whatever kind of spiritual leaning that you have. If you go with the Simon Necronomicon stuff, then we can talk about how everyone has a watcher, which would be a being that is kind of like aligned to you on your wavelength, that is supposed to help you grow spiritually, particularly with the Simon Necronomicon system. But you can also kind of equate that to a guardian angel, let's say. So if you kind of take more of that Christian witch leaning, then, we can talk guardian angels here. If you are leaning towards something like an animal spirit guide or what have you, basically this video is going to be talking kind of like a one size fits all for any of those kinds of spirits. Or if you are drawn to a particular kind of animal spirit or what have you, then this video might be beneficial for you to listen to. Anyways, so what you got to think about is, if you have a guide that is around you or a particular spirit that you are wanting to make contact with, given that spirits are not bound by this physical reality, and therefore they are kind of outside of space and time because they don't have the confines of length, width, height, and time, then communicating with them in a literally any time is applicable, right? But we want to be focused. Think about this. You're on the phone with someone, but you're busy doing stuff around your house. Maybe you got the vacuum going, you got some music blasting, you are in the middle of, maybe you're reading a book or something and somebody is trying to talk to you. How effective is that communication? Not exactly effective, right? There's times when I'm distracted and my lady's trying to talk to me. Am I able to process and hear the things that she's saying? Of course not. And so you got to think, okay, if I want to communicate with someone, then I want to do it in a focused manner. This is why meditation works really, really, really well. And of course, you might think that meditation is just focusing on your breathing or reciting mantras or what have you, but meditation is more focusing on a particular thing, a particular aspect, or a particular activity in a focused state of mind that is free from distraction. So that's why practicing meditation every single day is paramount to basically any magical practice or spiritual practice, what have you. So if you are not meditating every single day, and I talk about this in pretty much all of my videos, start doing that now. And you can start with just focusing on your breathing and whatnot. And once you get that down with being able to focus on your breathing, in, out, in, out, in, out, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're going to train your mind to focus on what you want rather than having the monkey mind or that train of thought taking you one direction, another. So if you want to communicate with a particular spirit guide, if you know their name, maybe you channeled it, maybe you just want to talk to the spirit of a particular animal and you address it by the name heron, kestrel, wolf, coyote, what have you, then you can address it simply as, as if it was their name. and start asking some questions. Start making some statements. Start talking to them while you are in meditation. And the important thing that meditation teaches you is the ability to actually listen, to clear your mental clutter and to listen so you can get an answer. So you can also do this in a ritualistic format with a cast circle at your altar, and maybe you printed out or drew a picture of a particular animal spirit. Maybe you're artsy and you drew a picture of what this spirit guide looks like, maybe, even if it's an angel or what have you. If you're working with your watcher specifically from the Simon Necronomicon system, step one, check out my classes on Udemy, because I have Necronomicon 101 and Necronomicon 102. Necronomicon 101 helps you to understand how to start working with the book, and 102 helps you further along that path, along with working with your watcher, which, as I said before, is the spirit guide from the Simon Necronomicon system. So in the ritual context, you would use a particular bowl of offering called the Agamasaratu for giving an offering to the watcher. So you can apply the same kind of thing when you're working with any spirit guide, honestly, because if you're working with someone for help on a particular thing, like I have a guy that whenever I have electrical problems in my house, I call him up, he comes over, he helps me fix the thing, and I pay him. So, what's the thing that I'm translating here? Give and take, back and forth. Spirits are on a different plane of existence, and it can be kind of hard for us to breach the gap to them, especially at first when we're building that connection, where we want to give them some kind of fuel, some kind of energy when we're working with them. And this can be through offerings. We're talking incense. We're talking, coned incense. Maybe I have this Tibetan incense that honestly looks like little tubes. They feel kind of rubbery. I've been using that a lot lately. I have some herbs that I just sprinkle in the bowl and I light them up. And that is burned as an offering. You can also use candles if you're uncomfortable with burning things in a bowl. Maybe you have some restrictions with where you live and whatnot, or you're afraid of setting off that fire alarm. Then go with some candles. Along with candles, you want to think about color correspondences. Is this spirit guide supposed to help you with abundance? Go with green. Is it supposed to help you with love? Go with red. Those kinds of things. Check color correspondences, on the internet or in one of many, many, many witchcraft books that talk about these kinds of basic ritual setup things. But when we're burning offerings, you can state out loud that you are dedicating this offering to a particular spirit in hopes to communicate with them for the purposes of X, Y, and Z. And building this relationship over time, on a consistent basis, maybe every day, maybe once a week, what have you, and opening up that particular time to communicate with them when you're sitting at your altar in meditation and you burn some particular offerings. It's like maybe you have a friend that's long distance and you talk to them once a week. Same kind of principle. You want to maintain that relationship by continuing to reach out with them. And when you're reaching out to your spirit guide, you can, tell them the struggles that you have that are going on. This is more applicable to guardian angel, what have you, or working with your watcher from the Simon Necronomicon tradition, or if you're looking for particular insight or help on adopting certain aspects of an animal spirit, for example. You can talk to them about your struggles and what you want to become, asking them for help to being more, more driven, more powerful, what have you. While you are sitting there at your altar with your offering going and being in a calm state of mind after meditating for a while and casting a circle and whatnot. Because when you cast a circle, that's a defined boundary containing the energy. And if you are reaching out to a particular spirit, then it's almost like it's a passport through your circle, because you allow in what you are welcoming. This is why it's also important to be careful about what you welcome in. But of course, we're talking about just regular spirit guides here. So you can address your problems to them. You can ask them for insight. You can ask them, to give you a sign of their presence. And even with that, you can fall down a rabbit hole of, how do I know that my spirit guide is listening? Well, what kind of impressions do you get? What kind of thoughts go, pop up in your head? If you're proficient with meditation and calming your mind down, then you could experience things like thoughts that kind of don't feel like your thoughts. Maybe they have a different flavor to them. Maybe you're getting random images of different things while you are communicating with them, because spirits, because they exist on a different plane, they interact with us more subtly. If I'm talking to a friend, I'm going to hear them. If they're in the same room, I'm going to hear them. If they're on the phone, I'm going to see them over Skype or what have you. Or I'm going to read an email from them. But spirits, because they exist on a different plane, then they communicate more subtly and through energetics and impressions, such as being given visions in a meditative state, hearing certain things kind of with your mind's ears rather than your own ears. You might get things like a bump in the room, or maybe a light flickers, or you suddenly smell something that's kind of foreign and wasn't there previously, things like that. Or they might even enter your dreams and give you certain dreams with certain messages. Those things can all be communications from spirit guides. So I know I threw a bunch of information at you, but the point is that you have to set aside time to communicate with them, and then be open and present and be focused by training yourself with meditation and being able to clear and focus your mind so you can hear them. And the more that you do this on a regular basis, the more your results are going to be. So hey, if you liked this one, make sure you drop a like on it. Definitely comment with maybe you have worked with spirit guides before, or maybe you're just stepping into it, or any comments, questions, complaints, concerns, issues. You can definitely put them down in the comments, and even suggest other topics that I can make videos on, and any other questions that you guys want me to answer. So yeah, let me know what you think about this one. Good hunting.